Lean in.
Right. Everyone, welcome to London Boy Podcast. This is your host, London Boy, and I'm here with my boy Ted.
Hiya.
My boy Elzark, and my boy Andy. And today we're going to talk about the effects of technology in today's society. And just a quick disclaimer, the views of the guests are strictly their opinions, and we're not experts in technology. We're just going through our life experience and how it's affected us and people around us. So, Ted, what do you think of technology?
All right, so technology in general is quite a broad subject. So what sort of specific area was you thinking about?
So let's start off with social media.
Wait. Can I just say something?
All right.
So what I want to say about technology is it's like everything. There's good and bad of everything. You know, it's brought some good things, but there's a lot of negatives to it. You know, it's affecting a lot of people's daily lives. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, it's made a lot of careers and it's helped a lot of people out.
Yeah, so, I guess so. To be honest with you, if you look at social media, yeah, there are some benefits. You can obviously keep up with people, you know, talk to people you haven't spoken to in a while, people from other countries, but there's a lot of negatives that come with it.
Yeah, I think that in a way there's a lot of competition in terms of like, you know, it's good that you can share your life with people, you can stay in touch with your friends and your family, and that's a good bonus part of it. And it's quite fun as well. But the problem is that I feel like from what I've experienced from my side of things is that I see a lot of people that are constantly they're competing with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're putting stuff on their story of what they're doing. It's something glamorous, or it's going somewhere, it's doing something.
They're glamorizing a certain type of lifestyle.
And they're competing.
And then it becomes a thing of being... Social media becomes antisocial.
Well, the thing is with social media, it's all fake lives. Like they all show they're happy and living a glamorous life, but the reality is behind the scenes they're just like everyone else. And they're not actually that happy.
Yeah, true. And to be honest with you, I feel like social media people are just living a fake life.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a few things like that I think it is a good thing in it for example, keeping in touch with friends and also like improving people's lives. You know, some people, you know, these days we can even work remotely and people can work from other country, or even during the COVID times, like during this sort of time, you know, it's allowed us to connect remotely in this podcast, which is really good. So these sort of things is one of the things that's, you know, wouldn't have been possible before. So yeah, there's a lot of bonuses to it.
Not to mention as well, if you have a business, it's free advertising as well.
Where what you mean, like Facebook and
like
that
Facebook,
sort of side of things.
even, you know, you have a product, post it on Instagram.
Yeah,
that's your advertising there. You don't need to pay anything. Back in the day, you used to be able to pay a radio station or pay for flyers. Now
that's very true.
Now it's sort of changed the game in a way.
Yeah, but then you look at the bad sides. You know, you know, say you got someone young, vulnerable, and they're on Instagram, right, social media, and they've got advertisements of, you know, all these things that they don't need to see, like lip and sort of, what are they called?
What, lip suction?
Like the
Brazilian butt lifts.
Yes,
and
all this
shit,
stuff, and they look at that and they think, you know, that's what I want. That's it's not.
Yeah, in a way,
they don't need it. They don't need to see them things.
In a way, that sets a very superficial standard on what people need to achieve in life. Because come on, like, you open up your Instagram browser, what do you see? You see bloody supercars.
You see money, fake people
being thrown in your face.
Yeah, everything. Trips to Dubai.
And I think,
especially now, ain't good during COVID, but people are still doing it, so people think it's acceptable, even though it isn't.
And I think, like, if you've got children as well, like, and they're, you know, they don't know a lot about the world at that point in time. You know, they're still growing up, and all they see is these people, these women or men or whatever, and they've got their sort of fake lifestyle. Women might have their boobs or certain, you know, cosmetic surgery done. They might think that's what they need to do to look good. You know,
Ted, on your subject of, you know, children, do you think it's right to let your child on social media from a young age?
From a young age, I don't think it's a good idea.
Because look back when we was young, right? There was no social media.
We didn't have it.
We had no social media.
Yeah.
And look now, you know, there's a lot of young children that have bad mental issues, bad mental health.
Yeah, man. Social media.
I agree. Do you know what I mean? And when we was young, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, from a young age, I mean, from our point of view, like you just mentioned,
Because you're
like,
vulnerable when you're young.
you
You know,
are.
you're taking information and you sort of believe everything you hear.
No, you are, and yeah, I do think that is a thing. There should be an age limit on it, I think, but at the same time, it is good. In older life, you can share experiences with your friends and what you did the night before on a night out. But yeah, I think psychologically, it's preventing children. I had a conversation with someone earlier actually about this, and they were saying that psychologically, it's preventing them from learning a lot of social skills and even kids, just learning how to communicate in general, because they're just constantly on devices, iPads, computers, web browsing, playing games. They're not actually learning how to communicate.
Yeah.
So that's the negative part, I guess. But
Imagine as well, like, I've noticed, if you've got a kid in your home, instead of sitting down, spending time with the family, how was your day, what did you do at school, they'd rather go to their rooms, be on their phone at the dinner table, and it creates a sort of barrier between them and their parents,
Well,
that's the negative part. That's the negative part of it, I guess.
Negative part, and not to mention all the mental health issues that come with it, anxiety, depression, and all that sort of crap. So yeah, in a way, social media is a catch-22, and also not to mention as well privacy issues as well. You can get online stalkers. You should never share your location online. If you post the wrong thing online, there's cancel culture now, which is something we might dabble into in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is actually to privacy, because I think I had a conversation before this cast actually, and they were just talking. I was talking about the fact that once you record something, it might be your phone, that you're recording a phone call or a recording on, but as soon as that file is actually recorded and it's uploaded onto somewhere, perhaps YouTube or perhaps any other service, the minute it is uploaded, all them rights and the actual data is not owned by you; it's owned by the service provider. Like it's owned by YouTube or it's owned by another company. So that means that you might own your phone, you might own your laptop, but you don't really own the data that you've recorded that's actually of you.
Exactly. So all that privacy
is gone.
Goes out the window pretty much.
And that can be used, to sell as information to advertisers, or I think people don't understand the amount of people that are actually gathering this information and listening to it. And I think that is a big issue. And perhaps in the future, that more privacy regulations will come into place. They had the recent one, the new Data Act that come in. And I think there will probably be more in the future, because it's an area where it's just come up out of nowhere, and we don't really know how to regulate it yet.
And there's a very blurred line between what's yours, what you've got the right to, and what you don't have the right to.
Yeah,
It's a bit messed up. And also, not to mention as well, cyberbullying. People can blackmail you with your information.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So just really got to be careful.
well, off from the bad things on social media and all this stuff. There is good things.
Such as
all the cars are petrol, right?
yeah,
And if you look now outside, you go on the road, you drive, you see more electric cars.
yeah, true.
And why? So our technology is advancing.
Mhm.
We're moving further on, and hopefully in the future it will be electric. Be good for the planet.
So in a way, it's improving the environment.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I guess so.
But the only problem is, like, if you want to have a decent electric car that doesn't look ugly, you need to spend at least £30,000.
Yeah, but in the future, when we do all go electric, the price, sort of be subtle.
it becomes normal.
Yeah, it will become normal.
Yeah. I guess so. And I wanted to dabble into cancel culture a bit, because that obviously connects to social media and technology. And I just feel like, if you look at the Human Rights Act, we got a thing called freedom of expression in the UK, and in the US it's called freedom of speech. But nowadays you can't really say your opinion. You're not really free to say much, and you got to really be, politically correct and PC.
One rule for one for another.
Yeah, one rule for one for another. And it makes you think, what's the point of it all? If if you can't be yourself, obviously don't be out of line, don't say anything too out there, but at the same time, why should you walk on ice?
Yeah.
That is a good point. I think recently as well, with a lot of the things that have come up, even people on TV, they might say something, and it will trigger a backlash of of reactions to what they've done, and even people they've even actually got fired from their jobs. People lose their jobs over this stuff.
Yeah,
what they say.
Look at Piers Morgan.
Yeah, Piers.
I was thinking of Piers.
All he did was he just expressed his opinion.
He just expressed his opinion about something he
And
saw.
someone didn't like it, and they cried and bitched, and they lost him his job.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? We have the
and-
right to say our opinion.
Yeah.
And then, so cancel culture thing, yeah, people have the right to, moan if they don't like something. We all have the right to everything. But then it becomes a thing where people start to play victim.
Right.
And that's where people can get, like you said, lose their jobs, even get arrested over someone else's accusation. And then you think, oh, is it not meant to be innocent until proven guilty? But this thing, it makes it become guilty until proven innocent. So you can't really win.
Yeah.
So, my boy Andy wanted to say something. What was it you had to say? Silence. Nothing
Silence,
on technology.
yeah.
He hates it.
Yeah, can tell.
To be fair though, in terms of like what you do in technology, like what's your opinions of it? Like, what you said something on the lines of before, like didn't you say something? We had a conversation. I had a conversation with Andy actually, Andy T, just about like some of the other conversations about technology, and he was saying that apparently he was saying that he wishes actually that it'd be better if we went back in time and didn't have all this technology. He said life would be better. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so
Andy.
What's that film? Where there was I think it was based in the 80s, and
Total Recall?
no, it was a bunch of school kids that got put in detention. American film,
Not Back to the Future.
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
Ah,
if any of you
yes.
lot seen Breakfast Club, yeah, because every time I watch this film, it makes me quite sad because what kids used to get up to back then. And like they got into detention, there were like a bunch of naughty kids in that, and what they were doing, they weren't on their phones like 24/7, just looking down at their phones while they were in detention. They were actually like being social, and they were talking to each other. They were running around the school. They tried their first like joint. They were just doing like getting up to like random things.
Just being kids, man.
Yeah, they were just being free. They were just being young. And when I look at that's like back then, and now I look at things like kids nowadays, and they don't do that. They just look at a screen.
Zombies.
Yeah, they just look at a screen and they'll scroll through Instagram. They'll like photos, and it just becomes very distant from like a
Reality.
human perspective, really. And I think that's messed up, like beyond.
It's wrong, and it goes back to the thing where people are living a fake life. You can't go out and experience things because, even if you do, let's say you want to travel, you go on holiday, instead of like taking a look, having a deep breath and sinking it all in, people have got their phones out.
First thing they do is grab their phone to show off on social media.
Shop on the gram or on the snap.
It's addictive. You
Very
know that
addictive,
feeling you
yeah.
get when you put your hand in your pocket and you're like, oh shit, where's my phone?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like you've lost something. Do you know what I mean? You feel like you've lost everything.
It's a
Yeah.
part.
It's a panic. But that's
is.
what I'm saying. We're so attached to our phones,
Yeah.
and without them, we feel lost.
And
I never thought I'd get like that. But when I can't find my phone, I panic.
Yeah.
I don't even want it. I just want to look at the time.
Of course, and I won't lie to you. I'm guilty of that too. I remember going on holiday one time, and instead of going to the beach, going for a swim, I was more hands on my phone, looking at what's going on the internet, what's going on social media. So what's the point of paying money to go on holiday traveling if you're not going to enjoy it 100%?
Yeah, instead of enjoying the holiday, you're like, oh, wait a minute, how can I record this and show off or show people what I'm doing?
Exactly, like
without actually experiencing the moment for yourself.
Well, if you look
That
at,
makes sense.
I don't know, look at like a concert, for example. Look at a concert. No one's actually watching the concert.
No.
They're all watching it through a screen.
Recording it, yeah.
They're not one person has their. Do you know what I mean? They're all just staring at their phones, and they can't wait to put it on social media. Oh, look how great I am! Look where I've been. I'm so special. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's like. They're just desperate
Yeah.
to show
And
off,
then
and it's like, oh fuck off.
And you mentioning that, and it becomes a thing of approval. You're constantly seeking people's approval.
Exactly.
And approval, that's seeking approval, that's the root of anxiety. So that sort of crap leads onto all sorts of
And when you-
social anxieties and mental problems.
Yeah, exactly.
right?
When you don't get that approval, when you don't get, the amount of likes you wanted, or
You feel
that person didn't comment,
you feel
oh my god,
worthless.
you look so
Yeah.
beautiful, fires, love heart face.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You get
think
in a
you've done
state.
something wrong.
Yeah, you feel like you've done something wrong, and you get in a state of mind which just
Self-judgment.
Yeah, it isn't positive.
Yeah.
It's
It's
negative.
very destructive.
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone's had the experience of going onto Snapchat and then taking about 10 photos before they can actually send it to someone.
yeah,
Yeah.
Just so they can
Yeah,
analyse
of
that
course,
photo and look at how they look like and what that other person's going to think
gonna perceive
and what
them
they're going to
as
see,
and all that, yeah.
And that's messed up. Like, you should just be able to...
Just be yourself.
Yeah, just-
Sink in the moment.
I mean, I do like Snapchat. I think it's one of the useful social media. It's not like Facebook. You just message. Like, I'm getting in the shower now. Like, it's not that type of social media.
Yeah.
So I do like Snapchat. It's got a bit. You take a picture or whatever, and then you put like a message into it.
Because that's the
Which
thing.
you should. Yeah,
That's the thing, isn't it? Like with Snapchat, you've got you've got the option to actually retake a picture or whatever. In real life, when you went to see someone, you can go, I'm going to rewind it.
There's
actually,
no retake.
and
of
just
that.
I'm going to fix my hair a
Yeah.
little bit and then redo this. No, like that's not how it works. And it's giving you that sort of process of self judgment and anxiety of what I look like and just actually getting on with life.
Yeah,
So,
and
I understand that.
And I won't lie to you, like I've taken like social media breaks simply because of that thing of of approval. It does your head in, to be honest with you. And sometimes you just want to press an off button and just live real life and think, what, screw this.
And I think as well, some people have taken breaks from social media. I mean, I've spoken to a couple of people I knew, and they said they've actually had a break from Snapchat and Instagram and different things like that. And I can understand why. I mean, especially if you feel like it's actually affecting your life and you just want to live life and just get on with it. I think it depends on the person.
It feels a
But,
bit
I can understand
exhausting
it.
sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Mentally
Yeah.
exhausting, draining.
The thing is, it can keep you awake at night. Do you know what I mean?
It
You
does.
should be in
it
bed
does.
asleep, ready for work in the morning. You are sitting there scrolling, looking at these pointless pictures
And
Of cats.
of people, and the caption, "Take me back."
yeah.
With the general picture of their back face. It's just like, I don't give a fuck.
And another thing to add to that, there's been actual research that social media has been engineered to be addictive, so that if, let's say you post a picture on Instagram and you get the likes and whatever, you get the views, those likes, they release a rush of dopamine in your brain,
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's what keeps you coming back.
Exactly.
It's like a drug.
It's like a drug.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, you need to find that balance and be like, yeah, I'm going to use social media for the positives, keeping up with my friends, communicating and using it for business,
Getting the positives.
getting the positives out of it, and just filtering out the keeping up with the Joneses, the seeking approval,
The addictive sides.
yeah, let's move on to something a bit futuristic.